Social media has become so saturated with glow up routine, beauty advice, beauty hacks, and these beauty tips and secrets that we didn't know about, to the point where it's like overwhelming. Like, I have a serious sense of FOMO every time I go on the internet looking for any type of advice about anything. But the girlies do be on game to a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong. However, rarely is the root of a glow up talked about. Rarely is the mental, internal, everything like that talked about, which is the most important part of glowing up. Why is that, you might be asking? Because it's not profitable. Almost every single problem you can think of can tie directly to food. Hair, it can be tied to food. Eczema, allergies, and asthma, if you have the big three like I do, food, which can also drastically change the way you look. Not just eczema, but allergies and asthma. If you're inflamed and you have cortisol face, it's probably food. This is my skin a few days before my period. And I usually struggle with extreme hormonal acne. I do have two nice, juicy, and very painful pimples right here. But normally I have them all right here. I have a couple small ones up in my hairline area. I don't have a single pimple in sight besides these two right here. When I tell you guys, that would not be possible if I didn't change my diet. Acne can be tied to your diet. Everything you can possibly think of is tied to food. Also, because I have very severe allergies, my sinuses get very inflamed and it leads to puffiness in my face. But when I started focusing on holistic means of taking care of myself for me, not for external glow up or benefit, I started to look snatched like never before. The features that were hidden under inflammation were starting to show out more, and I started getting complimented more, and that would not be possible if I did not change my diet and overall habits. And these are habits that aren't beauty habits and going to sleep in contraptions. These are daily habits that improve your overall well-being. I'm talking about your mental health, your physical health, your external beauty, and your internal health. Hi girls, welcome back to Boss Girlified. It is your girl Tima, and no, you do not need a glow up. What you really need is anti-inflammation. You're inflamed, babe. That is what's going on. I am someone who was born with a sensitive immune system, and I mentioned this on my previous video where I talked about glow up blindness. If you haven't watched that video, definitely go check it out. It will be in the iCard above. But in that comment section is gold, by the way. Y'all might want to go check out that comment section. But I read all of your guys' comments. You guys are so sweet, by the way. I love you guys. Leave a little heart because I love you guys so much. And I love reading your comments. And yeah, let me know. Don't just watch my videos, because I definitely, even if I don't like interact with it or like it or whatever, because I have a very, 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 very busy schedule, I still see it and I love reading your comments. And a lot of your comments help other girlies. But I say that to say that in the comments of that video, people were talking about their immune disorders. And there are a lot of us immune disordered girls out there. There are a lot of us weak immune system girlies out there. So weak immune system girlies unite. But they were talking about all the different things that they have to deal with depending on their immune disorder. And a lot of them were saying that when they started incorporating things like omega-3s into their diet and overall just focusing on anti-inflammation, their symptoms either completely diminished or went away completely, which is so insane to me, but it is so true. Like, I did 75 hard. And I cut out the big three, which is gluten, dairy, and sugar. When I tell you guys, I did not have a single allergy attack for that entire 75 days. Maybe I had it one time when I went out and it was really dusty one day, but I was outside when I had that happen. I am the type of person that when I'm not doing that diet, I wake up every single morning with allergies. Literally, I wake up every single morning. Every day I start my day off with allergies. That right there should go to show you that food is probably very, very important. It's not just food, of course. It is also habits and other things like that will help you with anti-inflammation. But here are some habits that I have incorporated into my life to not only make my allergies, asthma, and eczema almost completely non-existent, but also have slimmed my face completely. My skin is clear. I have almost completely eliminated my breakouts, y'all. I used to have these tiny bumps everywhere. They're non-existent now. I just have scarring here and there, but even that I've been able to get rid of with products like the Anua TXA serum. All my body is incredibly tea. But I'm going to teach you guys how I was able to do all of that by focusing on anti-inflammation. First, let's talk about the physical, and make sure you guys stay till the end of the video because I will be giving you guys a couple of sneak peeks into some meals and foods that I like to eat that absolutely are delicious, because healthy food can be delicious and help me so much with anti-inflammation. Unfortunately, girls, you're gonna have to do cardio. I'm so sorry. It does not have to be anything intense. It does not have to be anything crazy. It could be really fun and exciting and engaging, but you need to be doing at least 3 days a week of cardio, if not more. I currently have a goal to try to do some form of cardio every day. I have a dog, so already we go on walks and stuff, and that girl likes to play and run. So I usually go to the park with her every day and run, but sometimes, like over the weekend, I'll go on a hike, I'll go on a jog. I really want to start getting into running, which is a whole nother thing, because honestly, Aaliyah's face, yeah. Aaliyah's face, I follow her on TikTok, and she's been doing these jogs in Dubai, these runs in Dubai, and she'll run like 10 miles and stuff like that. And I'm asthmatic as hell, so that sounds like a dream to me, okay? But I do really want to start getting into running more, so I've been like slowly but surely building up my tolerance. I'll do some form of cardio every time I go to the gym now. I'll do Stairmaster at the least. I'll do some of the treadmill. I'll run a little bit, so on and so forth. You want to focus on cardio, and that is because it gets everything moving, especially if you are someone who always has a clogged sinus, because that is a big red flag of inflammation in your sinuses. Or if you just produce a lot of mucus, that is a really big red flag that you have some sort of inflammation going on. Even if you don't necessarily feel it, if you have a lot of swelling or inflammation in these areas and you seem to have that like cortisol face or baby fat face, sometimes it is baby fat, okay? If you're young, you're probably still growing and you still have to grow into your features, trust me. But if you know that it's inflammation of some sort, or like you're old enough to where it's like, okay, I'm definitely developed, it's probably inflammation. And the best way to get rid of that inflammation is by going on a jog, going on a run. There's a reason why people, when they do some sort of physical activity, they do a lot of sniffling, blowing their nose, coughing, or like clearing your throat, especially if you're someone who has a lot of mucus buildup like I do, okay? It just gets everything going. It clears up your sinuses. It's just good for getting your blood flowing. And when your blood is flowing and when every part of your body is getting oxygen, that right there is already like you're on the right track. It really does help to detoxify your body, get your system regular, and really help with anti-inflammation. I'm so sorry. I know a lot of y'all didn't want to hear that because I am not a cardio girly. I hate cardio. I avoided it at all costs until I realized how much it was helping me with all of my inflammation issues. Next is yoga. This is another way that you kind of get your body moving and you get blood flowing into different areas of your body that you wouldn't necessarily get flowing any other way, like when you're in downward facing dog. And so many other positions really focus on getting your blood flowing and getting your circulation moving and loosening up those tight areas of your body. This really does help with anti-inflammation and just getting your system regulated and getting your system in sync. Also, I would heavily focus on low impact workouts. I'm not sure the specific science behind this, but for some reason, when women especially do higher impact workouts, it tends to affect our cortisol levels. I'm not sure if that's true. I've heard that on TikTok, but either way, I would recommend doing some form of low impact workout. It definitely helps me stay slim and keep a really nice figure without having to do too much. And I just don't really want to build muscle and stuff like that. That's just not necessarily my goals. But if you are trying to work on slimming your face or whatever the case may be, low impact, consistent workouts are probably going to be your best friend. Next, let's get into the fun part. My diet. So of course there's the big three: gluten, dairy, and sugar. These I would avoid at all costs. And honestly, it takes some getting used to, but you will get used to it and it won't feel like as much of a chore. It won't feel as irregular once you get in the habit of it. I have been focusing on anti-inflammation and just eating better foods for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. and it's really regular to me. Sometimes, of course, I'll give myself a little treat here and there, but I will say I am going back hardcore, full-blown, no gluten, sugar, dairy. So one thing that's been really helping me get on that track is the sugar-free yerba mates. I'm not sure which ones they have that are sugar-free. My favorite right now is the ginger, I forgot what it is. It's like ginger something, but that one is the carbonated version of this, and it has no sugar. It's made with agave. It is so good. I know agave isn't the best sugar replacement, but it's better than sugar for me, especially because I'm just cold turkey trying to cut refined sugar out and eat fruits that have lower sugar. That's another thing I really want to touch on is low sugar or no sugar. Obviously, it's impossible to do no sugar, and your body does need a little bit of sugar, but you can do it in a way where you avoid certain fruits. Like, for example, I think some of the sweetest fruits are like apples and like oranges, but I'll put a list of the sweetest fruits on here, and then I'll also put a list of the fruits that aren't that super sweet, which of course include berries. So I like to have my fruits of the day usually be berries. I know it can be confusing when you hear people say no sugar because like, what are y'all doing not eating fruit? Like, you know, but just eat fruits that have low sugar in it and try to like completely cold turkey if you can, cut out refined sugars. And it's going to be a slow and steady progress. And a lot of foods have sugar. Even the foods that you wouldn't think have sugar probably have sugar. And something that has been helping me a lot with that is the Yuka app. This is not sponsored at all. I used this a while ago, but I stopped using it for whatever reason. But especially if you are a sensitive autoimmune system girly, you need to get this Yuka app. If you're acne prone, you need to get this Yuka app. It's like you can scan basically anything. I'm talking about skincare, makeup, food, drinks, anything. You can scan it and see how good it is on a scale of like 1 to 100. So that is really helpful when you're trying to get into eating cleaner and getting into anti-inflammation. You also want to be really careful with dyes and chemicals, especially like Red 40, and I forgot what the other one is. A lot of the things that they put in our food are like banned in other countries. So there's that, and there's a reason for that. So I would definitely use the Yuka app to help you with that. So that's just one example. You know, you really want to be careful, eat as clean as possible, avoid as many processed foods as you can. And if you do eat processed foods, I would recommend going organic or going as healthy as you can. Of course, again, while you're in the store, if you need help, use the Yuka app because it doesn't necessarily have to be organic. I know organic can be very expensive, but you can use the Yuka app to just scan things and find the best alternatives you can find in the store. You're going to have to spend a little time with it, but trust me, guys, your health and wealth and your well-being is worth it, and especially when you start to notice that face getting snatched and that body getting incredibly tea. Now let's get into the foods that you should absolutely be trying to incorporate into your diet. I have a whole list here, okay? And this isn't even all of it. I'll try to put some other examples of foods that you should be incorporating on the screen. But carrots, leafy greens, lentils, salmon, avocado. I'm allergic though, very unfortunately. So I try to eat other omega-3 rich foods, superfoods like spirulina and sea moss, protein. Definitely incorporate protein. Try to stay away from protein powders if you can, though. Go the more natural route, like chicken, eggs, things like that, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt. And those are my exceptions when it comes to dairy because those actually help me a lot with my probiotics and just protein consumption. And this is the big one for me. Make your main carbs sweet or purple potatoes and or rice. And I just learned this from my mom, by the way. Go check out her channel. She also has a lot of really, really good recipes and tips and tricks for people trying to live a healthier lifestyle. She is Nature 2T. And she actually told me that basmati rice is better than jasmine rice or any other rice, basically, and brown rice even too, because brown rice isn't really that much better than white rice. It's better than both of those because it has less starch. So that is really good to know. You want to eat beets, and the list honestly goes on and on. Just do your research, and food is so unique because there's so many different foods out there that you probably haven't even heard of. You should go to your local Asian market. Like, trying food is so yummy. Like, really, really get invested. Oh, Another one is kimchi. Get invested in healthy eating and getting more nutrients from your food. Treat food like medicine, but it won't even feel like medicine. Like, it'll literally be so yummy once you get the hang of it and once you get so accustomed to eating a certain way. Go to your Asian markets, find those cool and unique fruits and vegetables and make unique recipes and just play around with it and have fun with it. That's what it's supposed to be. In my comments, I saw a lot of people saying that the food part of anti-inflammation is what's really hard for them. On one hand, I heard some people saying that, they either live in an environment where it's not conducive, they live at home still, so they eat what everybody else has. And then on the other hand, there's people who just are really picky and don't really like to try different stuff, just cannot bring themselves to like certain foods. And the thing is I'm one of those people too. You would not tell by the diet that I eat currently, but I am definitely one of those type of people where I am very picky. Like, I like good food. I'm sorry. Like, I like to eat a couple fried stuff here and there. Like, I like to eat wings and stuff. Like, I like stuff like that. I like sugary stuff. But the real thing you're going to have to do for yourself is find replacements, okay? This is the big key when you're trying to do anti-inflammation. 9 times out of 10, you would be surprised. It's just kind of scary because you're gonna have to try different stuff and you're gonna feel like, all right, I'm never gonna find the right recipe. I'm never gonna find the right non-dairy creamer. But you will. You actually will. You just have to have patience. And unfortunately, this costs money. But you can also do your research on TikTok. You can go to TikTok and search up best dairy-free ice cream, best dairy-free this, best dairy-free that, best dairy-free pasta recipe, and so on and so forth. And you will find a lot more than you would expect. Like, people have been down that trial and error route, and they've found the best recipes and the best things that work for them. And for me, fries, right? So fries for me, I love fries, okay? I never have really eaten out that much, but fries were always something in high school, I would go to Jack in the Box and get fries and stuff, right? So that was a thing that I still crave, especially around my period. Canes, especially Canes, I'll start craving. So how I have combated that is by over the years, coming up with different recipes that work for me. And I've realized that the best alternative for me are sweet potato shoestring fries. I've been making them a lot recently and they're so freaking good. And they taste amazing. They taste better than any other fries I could ever try. Try different seasonings, spice it up, figure out the best recipe, and slowly but surely turn it into the healthiest alternative you can possibly do. Another favorite recipe of mine is this mashed sweet potatoes, or even just mashed potatoes topped with this gravy. And I'm gonna start making it dairy free as well, because when I used to make it, I would make it with just regular milk, but now I'm gonna make it with soy milk, and I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys updated. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat, so you don't miss out when I start, making more recipes and getting more creative with my food. But really just give yourself a reason to enjoy eating healthy, because I think when people think about eating anti-inflammation, they're like, and I don't blame y'all, because some people be making it look kind of gross. But I promise you guys, when you eat an anti-inflammatory diet, you feel like you have more energy, your skin starts clearing up, and the benefits outweigh the cons. I promise you guys. Salmon is so good. Who doesn't like salmon? Find things that you already know you like and work with that. And try new things. You might have to try it a couple times before you like it. For the first half of my life, you guys, I didn't eat strawberries. I did not eat strawberries because I didn't like the texture of the seeds. But if I continue, now almost every single morning, I have a cottage cheese bowl with Greek yogurt, chocolate chips, and what? Strawberries. So I understand how that can be. And on the other hand, it's too expensive, or I live with people. Eating an anti-inflammatory diet isn't as expensive as people would think it is. Yes, is it a little bit more expensive than if you were to just go buy a box of cereal and some non-organic chicken and a couple of eggs and stuff? Yes. But it is so worth it in the long run. I would definitely recommend, if you are working on a budget, this should be your quick little grocery list. I'll put like a list here on the screen. Make sure you guys screenshot it of like $50 and under for like a week of groceries that you guys can buy if you're trying to start out an anti-inflammatory diet on a budget. And then even furthermore, to add on to that, when you eat the traditional standard American diet, you are probably going to spend a lot more money on other bills, other costs, medicines, and stuff like that. So think of it as an investment. Now let's get into some other habits that help overall with anti-inflammation. Drink an anti-inflammatory tea. This is the best little concoction I have found for myself personally. And honestly, it seems like an across the board, the best type of anti-inflammatory drink you can make. It has like so many ingredients in it. It has like 7 or 8 ingredients, but I just make myself a little cup of the mixture on like Sunday when I'm prepping and stuff for the week, and just put a scoop of that in my cup with some hot water and call it a day. But basically it's turmeric, ginger. Try to use fresh turmeric ginger if you can. Black pepper, pink Himalayan salt for electrolytes, lime, key lime, apple cider vinegar, and cayenne pepper. When I drink that, I try to drink it, especially when I'm about to hit my period. I try to drink it 3 times a day, like medicine. Like I have 3 doses of it, and it really does help with my period symptoms, with everything, my bloating, my hormonal acne, allergies, like the whole shebang. It really does help so much. You also want to incorporate electrolytes, and I've mentioned this in a previous video where I said like water is not enough. A lot of people say drink water, drink water, drink water. That is not enough. You need to be incorporating electrolytes into your water routine. Like if you really think about it, when you sweat, it's salty. And that's because you're like excreting salt, and your body needs salt. So I like to incorporate that by drinking a lemon, honey, and pink Himalayan salt tea every morning. And that just helps me so much have energy and feel more hydrated for longer. And I just feel like there's not enough emphasis on electrolytes. Replace coffee with matcha or yerba mate, okay? So coffee is just not the best for inflammation, and if you know, you know, but they say not to drink coffee when you're around your period, and that's because it can be inflammatory. So I would just say, if you can, and I love coffee, y'all, so it's really hard for me to get rid of that. And that's something I'm going to start working on too, drinking more matcha. I have literally all the matcha making devices. I just love coffee, y'all. But we're in it together. No coffee 2025. Well, at least limited coffee. Replace soda with kombucha and other probiotic drinks. This has been something that like is such a breeze for me now because I found so many yummy kombuchas. A lot of people say that they don't know how people like kombucha because it tastes like beer. Like for me, I could not disagree more. Like I love kombucha, me personally, but if you don't, you know, to each their own. But there are probiotic drinks like Poppy and stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of those, but I will tell you guys, the Naked June, I think it's called. I'll put it on the screen right here. This is my absolute favorite kombucha in the world. It is so yummy. I don't even think about it. Like I love drinking kombucha now because of this. So just find yourself a really, really good probiotic, gut-friendly drink. Kombucha is my favorite choice to replace with soda, and you won't even have that craving anymore. It's really just working on staying consistent with it, building a habit, and you won't even crave these bad things anymore. I cannot remember the last time around my period too that I've craved fries and stuff like that. Now, these are 2 just daily habits or like day-to-day habits that I have that help with my physical appearance and with inflammation and just secreting all those toxins from your body. First is a sauna. I haven't done the sauna in so long, but I've noticed that I got rid of so much like odor and like just so much stuff, like toxins. Like you can tell when you step out of the sauna, you can tell that you've secreted a lot of toxins from your body. But also gua shaing has been really helping snatch my face. I try to gua sha at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not every single night. It has been helping me so much with lymphatic drainage in my face, especially as someone who has inflamed sinuses a lot of the time because of my allergies. Yeah, guys, let me know if you guys want like a gua sha routine or like a meal prepping routine. I also did just recently these are the little sneak peeks that I wanted to give you guys. fries. I just recently did a meal prepping video on my TikTok. I don't know if I posted it yet. I made some plantains and sweet potato shoestring fries, African fish pie. They were so freaking good. They're like empanadas but with fish. It's so yummy. I made this really good like super green salad with quinoa. So yummy. That's just one example. And then I made some pickled onions to top because I love pickled onions. I recently made like sweet potato or purple sweet potato with probiotic Nancy's sour cream on top. And then I made a side of salmon. It was so freaking good. Like, you would not expect food that looks that healthy to be that yummy, but it really, really is. You just have to give it a shot. You just have to stay consistent with it. Try different things. Work with what you like so far and build on that. And don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. That's the best way I would say. When you're starting out, don't be harsh on yourself. Like, don't be like, oh my God, like I failed today, because that's the quickest way to be like, all right, fuck it. Like, I might as well just give up. Or like, oh, I craved fries and I got it today. Like, girl, if you don't get yourself that fry, you'll feel a lot better about it. Like, I promise you. But just have that discipline and be like, you know what, at the end of the day, this is for me and me alone. This is for me and me alone. And if I continue this way, if I continue without the fries for the week, shit, I'll feel even better. But hey, if I cave and give myself the fries, it's not the end of the world. I'm just going to do my best tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But really do keep track of it and really try to build that habit. It really does take consistency, dedication, and time, and you will get there. I promise you, girlies. It's so hard from picky girl to picky girl. And listen, I'm in a much better position in my life, thank God, fortunately. But I've been in a point before where I was a broke ass girl, okay? Like, I understand where that comes. Like, I used to work like when I was in high school. Like, I used to work like damn near full time. Okay. So I understand. Trust me, I do. But it's possible. And dedication and hard work leads to great things. Anyways, girlies, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Let me know if you guys have any other questions in the comments down below, any video recommendations, any recommendations for the anti-inflammation girlies, because we are anti-inflammation all 2025. Anyways, girlies, it has been your girl Tima, and I'll see you on another video soon. Bye, girls.